aka OG Giggity. Before I get into the story, I just want you all to know one thing. This is all entertainment purposes. I just do these stories to let y'all know how we were living back in the days, but under no circumstances am I glorifying this, or do I want you all to go out and try none of this.
Yo, this is one of my favorite OGs that came home from doing life. Now, I've had to basically get used to saying that, OG coming home from doing life, because that sounds like an oxymoron, because how can you come home if you served life? Well, that's because life is considered 30 years, right? That's a life sentence, technically. 25 to 30 years is technically a life sentence. So if you were convicted of life, but you don't have any homicides or anything like that, or maybe you do, you can get out without snitching, right? After 25 to 30 years, because usually the laws will change. A lot of times guys will tell. Gangster, he told on some dead friends of his, and he implicated dead people who he ran with in murders. That way they couldn't be convicted, and he could get the credit for helping to solve these cold cases. Because you got to understand, why would the federal government allow Terrence Gangster Williams to snitch on a dead guy? Because they want to close the case. Because if you close a case, that gives that agency, they get more money and things like that. You understand what I'm saying? It's a bureaucratic decision that really benefits the detectives and stuff. When you have open cases, cold cases, and you close them, you get more money. You get budget. Your budget increases and stuff like that, right? And so there's an incentive there to actually close cold cases, even if the suspect who committed the homicide is dead. So that's why they allow guys to come home from life sentences if they tell them they're dead. Now, one of my favorite people who came home from life is Rob from Convicting. And one of the reasons why is because Rob kept it so raw when he first came home. When he first came home, I think one of the first stories I heard him say was of a Sereno being sexually assaulted by an inmate member. And if you don't know, prostitution is very popular in prison, even though guys don't talk about it, right? And Rob talked about not only a Mexican Mafia OG pimping out a Sereno, but he talked about the white guys pimping out other white guys to black gang members. So prostitution in prison is a very, very big thing. By in the themselves,
Negro started having dudes suck his dick through the bean slot.
You heard that?
That's real shit, and that's having dudes suck his dick through the bean slot. That's real shit, and that's, it's not me just saying this. That was a wide open story at Leavenworth back in the day. I mean, just what? I mean, I talk to people and
that story. Yeah. Yeah. So
and story, and I think they've got some code or whatever they're not supposed to do. I'm not really sure, but he was doing that.
Yeah, he said the Sereno kid was gay. The Mexican Mafia OG would get the gay Sereno to suck everybody's phallus through the bean slot, which is the flap where they serve the food. And that, when I heard that story, I said, this guy's an OG. Just want to put things. He's an OG.
Prostitution, meaning any white punks that come in, they didn't sit there and pick them out like sex acts. They would take the guy that came in and say, press up on him and say, hey, listen, you're not going to be doing this in this compound we're selling. So they would like release him. I remember one white guy that was homosexual, had a little bitty arm, deformed arm. He was sold for heroin to rented for 90 days or a month to a guy named, I'll just say R. He was a high-ranking Crip.
He said that the white boys in the federal prison rented out a white homosexual to a high-ranking Crip for 90 days. The black high-ranking Crip gave the white boys a certain amount of heroin to rent that white homosexual for 90 days. So that homosexual will now be able to stay with that black guy in his cell for 90 days. He can rent him, just like you go to rent-a-center errands to rent TVs and furniture and stuff like that, bedroom suites if you don't have enough money to buy it full out, so you can make payments, monthly payments. You can make monthly payments on a white homosexual in federal prison. And that's the reason why I like Rob from Convict Inc. Convict Inc. is the name of his channel because he's raw. He doesn't give a damn what you think. He's telling you what he's seen and what he witnessed. And he witnessed white homosexuals being rented out by the white OGs, the white gang members, to high-ranking black gang members. So I just appreciate his honesty. And Terrence Gangster Williams, my boy Unique. I always play Unique videos, so I don't think I need to play one right now. And Rob, I think they all got out last year, or in 2020, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they're all still free. And they're all generating an income through their YouTube account. They're branding themselves. And this is the new hustle. The new hustle is selling your old stories, your old prison stories and your old street stories, and you distribute it like crack. So this is the new crack era. Peace.